Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brian James and this is a channel dedicated to the restoration and building of clubman style cars and other projects that I find interesting. Over the back you'll see the Bedford van. That is on the list, and believe me, there's something a lot bigger coming. Fingers crossed. Anyway, look, today I thought I'd talk about the thought process and before you start your day doing your work on your car. Okay, so a lot of people tend to think that you just dive on in and things magically happen. Yeah, look, it's just not that easy. For me, I'll spend probably the night before going over in my head what I want to achieve for the next day. Okay, it's not all night long or anything silly. It's just I dedicate about 10-15 minutes in my head wanting to do something. And you've got to remember that every little step forward is still a step forward. Even if it's just putting in a nut or bolt, it's still working towards that end goal of driving your own car. Brilliant. So today's efforts, and that's something I have to stress, is be realistic with your views and your skill level. Okay, you're not about to say, the next day I'm going to rebuild a motor and paint the car. No one has that time. But make it realistic. And I'll give you an example of what I want to do today. So today's efforts, for me personally, is I would like to break the motor and gearbox and pull the clutch out. Excuse me. Now, the car had been sitting for 8 years next to the ocean. Okay, not right next to it, but within a very short distance. So you guarantee that they got rusty. And yes, look, the car did get very, very rusty. All surface rust, which I've sandblasted and powder coated, which you can see on other videos. And so, yeah, look, I'm probably going to need a brand new clutch. Now, the motor in this car is a 4AGE running a 5-speed gearbox. Those clutches are not expensive. They're not a dual mass clutch that's $3,000. You can get away with getting a decent clutch, OEM clutch, for roughly about $400. Now, that's cheap insurance. You know that it's brand new, that it's going in, and while you've got the motor and gearbox out, it's prudent to do it. So that's the mechanical side of things. And look, very shortly, I'll just show you around where we're at. The car, I want to strip the bodywork. Look, I've dummy fitted the bodywork and I know it fits. Okay, that's cool. During the life of this project, you're going to see it go off and on a lot of times. There's no biggie in that, but today it's going off. What we will be doing is fitting the fuel lines and the brake lines. Now, these had already been made, so I'll just be placing them back in. So that's basically going to be it for me for the day. Break open the motor and gearbox, take the clutch out, strip the bodywork, and install the fuel lines and brake lines. Not plumb them up, just sit them in the car. So, you know, again, it's called being realistic about your expectations of what you can do and not trying to burn yourself out. You can spend 8 hours of the day working on your car, but eventually you're going to burn yourself out, and that's not fun for anyone. Remember, this build is supposed to be fun. It's a journey of enlightenment, if you will, about what you can and can't do and about yourself and what you can do for your car, with the end goal of being able to drive this car that you've built and overcome obstacles. So yes, it's a great feeling and I love it. I love it so much I've done it multiple times. So without further ado, let me disappear behind the camera, out of sight, and I will take you through the little projects for today. Okay, hang on a sec. Okay, so first of all, it's about stripping the bodywork off the car. So that's the guards, the front fenders, the rear fenders, the seats, and I'm thinking even the aluminium and the scuttle panel. We'll get the whole lot off, back to a bare frame, and we can start from there. There's the new brake setup that I've got. Now we've just got Woolwood brakes there, so that's it'll be nice to see once they're all plumbed up, they're all working. And as we come around, excuse the sunlight, it's actually sunny here for a change. There's my motor. Now, above it you'll see that I've got a mobile gantry. I will be making sure that the motor is hooked up to that. Remember, safety is your first thing. You don't want to be dropping the motor off or dropping it onto the ground. If you're doing it on the ground, then it doesn't really matter, but it's all about making sure that you're not hurting yourself or your equipment. Now, I have this all this equipment that I've built up over the years, so that's fine for me. I know you may not have that, so even just an engine lifter on a bench is enough to make sure that the motor is safe and secure. The eventual point is that, yes, I'll put a new clutch in it, get a new slave cylinder on it, and we can pop it back in the hole. Now, going back to the car, there's the car. I'll just get you in shot there. Come back around here so you can see me. I know, terrible, but there we go. The other thing I need to do is look at my budget. Now, I don't have a lot of money. This is not my main job, and we've bought, as you may have seen in the previous video, we've bought a rural property, so lots of money goes into the maintenance of the property and the paying off of this great shed that I've got, which leaves me with a very small budget to rebuild the car. Now, in the perfect world, money wouldn't be an object. Okay, this isn't the perfect world, and I know that not everyone has that sort of budget. Actually, most people don't. So I've got to be careful on how I spend my money. Like I said, the clutch I'm going to get isn't going to be a race clutch. It's not going to be something special. It's just going to be an OEM clutch. That's all it needs. The motor and gearbox were designed to take a normal car, little AE86 is roughly about what, 1300 kgs. These are half the weight. Taking that into account, a normal clutch will do the job and feel like it's a heavy duty clutch and last like it. It'll feel like a normal clutch but perform like a heavy duty clutch. That's what I meant to say, because of the fact that these don't have a lot of weight in them. Now, the next thing I need to do is ball joints. I have a S13 independent rear end in this, and it's an HB or HC Viva A-arms. Now, that's the problem with these kit cars if you're rebuilding one, is you may not know what the componentry is. So it takes time to investigate it and find out what they are. If you're building it from new, obviously you know, you're the ones installing it. But for guys rebuilding them, that's the mystery. And sometimes that's the fun, is figuring it out, doing a little bit of investigation and getting it sorted. I was originally told that the back end was an S14. It turns out it's not, it's an S13. Now, there is difference. If you're going to order a ball joint, there's 5mm difference in the ball joint. So had I taken that into account and thought it was an S14, I'd have just wasted a couple of $100 on buying the wrong ball joints. Why am I buying ball joints? I want to put this on the road and I want to drive it. I want to make sure that things work. So, brand new ball joints, front and rear, top and bottom, and brand new ball joints on your steering arms is all making sure that you are safe when you drive your car. And look, when it comes to going in for a warrant of fitness, in New Zealand we have what it calls a warrant of fitness. Every 6 months the car is inspected by a qualified inspector to make sure that it is safe for the road, that things like your ball joints haven't got play in them, your bearings are fine in your hubs, that you've got tread on your tyres. For the newer cars, that warrant of fitness is taken out to 1 year, but for the older cars, it's every 6 months. It's a good thing to make sure that you and your passengers are safe. So anyway, that's the plans for the day. If you go onto my Facebook page and find this, I'll post a link to my Facebook page on this video. You'll also see the photos I take while I'm doing the work, and so you can see as I'm breaking it apart, you can have a look at the photos. Other than that, hey guys, you have a great day, and thanks for watching. If you like what you see, hit like and subscribe, and I'll be posting up more videos later on. Thank you, bye bye.